Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine while standing in a seemingly normal room? The world is full of mysteries. For centuries, people have sought ways to communicate with the other side. They want to connect with loved ones who have passed or uncover the secrets that lie beyond the veil. But what if those attempts open a door that was meant to stay closed? This is where the Ouija board, a seemingly innocuous tool, enters the picture. It's not a game, it's a portal, a direct line to a realm where the rules of our physical world no longer apply. The Ouija board, with its mysterious planchette and cryptic lettering, has fascinated and terrified people for generations. It's a gateway. It's a tool that promises a glimpse into the afterlife. But at what cost? Many dismiss it as a harmless game. But those who have experienced its true power know better. Imagine sitting in a dimly lit room, your fingers resting lightly on the planchette. But who or what is guiding it? Is it the spirit of a loved one eager to connect, or something far more sinister? Ouija boards are shrouded in folklore, superstition, and terrifying tales. These stories serve as cautionary warnings. They remind us that the spirit world is a realm of both wonder and terror. Think of the veil as a delicate membrane, easily torn by ignorance or disrespect. When we approach the Ouija board without caution, we risk ripping that veil wide open. The human psyche is naturally drawn to the mysterious. We crave answers to the universe's biggest questions. The Ouija board offers a glimmer of hope. It whispers promises of connection and revelation. This allure is often strongest for those who are grieving, desperate to connect with lost loved ones. But the spirit world is not to be trifled with. One of the most common misconceptions about Ouija boards is that they are inherently evil. The board itself is just a tool. The danger lies in what it can potentially unleash. The Ouija board acts as a conduit, amplifying the energies and intentions of those who use it. If you approach the board with fear or negativity, you are more likely to attract those very forces. It's like opening a door to a dark and dangerous alleyway and then wondering why something sinister has decided to follow you home. Our minds are powerful instruments. What we believe, we often manifest. If you believe that the Ouija board is a portal to the demonic, your fear and anticipation can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's also about the energy you bring to the session. If you approach the board with genuine fear and respect, you are far more likely to have an experience that will stay with you long after the session has ended. Remember, whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the Ouija board demands respect. Our first tale takes us to a small town in Indiana. Sarah, a lonely teenager hungry for connection, found solace in the worn cardboard box tucked away in her attic. Inside, a Ouija board promised answers. Night after night, Sarah would sneak into the attic, her fingers trembling with anticipation as she placed them on the planchette. At first, the messages were harmless. Silly greetings, answers to trivial questions. But then the tone shifted. The entity on the other side knew things, dark secrets about Sarah's family. It called itself Ezra, and it claimed to be trapped, longing for release. One night, the planchette flew off the board, shattering against the attic wall. Our next story takes us to the desolate plains of Oklahoma, where a dilapidated farmhouse stood like a rotting tooth against the unforgiving landscape. Locals whispered tales of a family massacred within its walls, their souls trapped, seeking revenge. A group of college students, eager to test their bravery, decided to spend a night in the infamous farmhouse. Armed with a Ouija board and a healthy dose of skepticism, they set about tempting fate. As the night wore on and the wind howled through the broken windows, the planchette began to move. It spelled out a single word over and over again: leave. Ignoring the warning, one of the students, a cocky young man named Jake, began taunting the entity. "Is that the best you can do?" he sneered. "Come on, show us what you got." He didn't have to wait long. The room turned ice cold. The sound of children laughing echoed through the empty halls. They fled into the night, their laughter replaced by screams of terror. Our next tale of terror takes us to the bustling city of Chicago, where a young couple, eager to spice up their weekly game night, decided to invite a few friends over for a Ouija board session. They saw it as harmless fun, a way to add a little thrill to their evening. As the planchette danced across the board, the atmosphere grew thick with nervous laughter and anticipation. Then it stopped on a single letter: Z. Z? What kind of a name is Z? One of the friends chuckled, breaking the tension. But the laughter died in their throats as the planchette slowly moved again, spelling out a chilling message: "I'm not leaving." At first, they dismissed it as a prank, but as the days turned into weeks, strange things began to happen. The Ouija board, it seemed, had opened a door they couldn't close. Our next story takes us to the dimly lit aisles of a dusty antique shop in New Orleans, a city steeped in voodoo and the occult. An old woman, her eyes filled with a lifetime of secrets, ran the shop, her fingers tracing the worn edges of a beautiful antique Ouija board displayed prominently in the window. A young man, an aspiring writer drawn to the macabre, wandered into the shop, immediately captivated by the board's beauty. He had to have it, convinced it held the key to unlocking his writer's block. "Be careful with that one," the old woman rasped, her voice a dry whisper. The young man, dismissing her warnings as superstitious nonsense, took the board home. That night he set it up on his writing desk, the room lit by a single flickering candle. The planchette moved with a life of its own, spelling out a message in a language he didn't recognize but felt deep in his soul. Our final tale of terror takes us to the decaying halls of an abandoned asylum in Massachusetts, a place where the air crackled with the energy of untold suffering. A group of paranormal investigators, armed with cameras and EMF readers, decided to spend the night in the asylum, hoping to capture evidence of the paranormal activity that plagued the site. They brought with them a Ouija board, hoping to establish communication with whatever entities might remain. As they set up their equipment in the former common room, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of dread. The silence was broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the distant dripping of water. They placed their fingers on the planchette, their voices hushed as they asked, "Is anyone here?" The planchette remained motionless for a beat. Then, with a sudden jerk, it shot across the board, pointing to the letter H. "H!" one of the investigators whispered, her voice trembling. The investigators, emboldened by their connection to the other side, decided to push further. They moved their Ouija board session to the asylum's abandoned chapel, a cavernous space where peeling paint hung from the walls like the skin of a molting beast. Stained glass windows depicting angels with sorrowful eyes cast a kaleidoscope of colors across the dusty floor. As they set up the board on a makeshift altar, a cold wind swept through the chapel, extinguishing their candles and sending a shiver down their spines. One of the investigators, a seasoned ghost hunter named Mark, took charge. "We need to proceed with caution," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "Is there anyone here with us?" Mark asked, his voice echoing in the vast emptiness of the chapel. The planchette remained motionless for a heartbeat, then, with a suddenness that made them all jump, it shot across the board, landing on the letter Y. Y-E-S, the planchette spelled out, moving with a speed and urgency that sent a wave of unease through the group. "Who are you?" Mark asked, his voice a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The planchette danced across the board, its movements frantic, almost desperate. HELPME, it spelled out. The message hanging in the air like a scream, trapped within the stone walls of the chapel. "How can we help you?" Mark asked, his voice steady despite the growing unease in the pit of his stomach. The planchette moved again, this time spelling out a single word, RUN. Before anyone could react, the chapel plunged into darkness. The temperature plummeted, and the air grew thick with a suffocating presence. Screams filled the air as the investigators scrambled to their feet, their flashlights casting dancing shadows that revealed nothing but the oppressive darkness. Sarah felt a hand close around her arm, its grip like ice. But the voice that answered her was not Mark's. It was a guttural growl, filled with an ancient malevolence that sent shivers down her spine. These stories, chilling as they may be, are just a glimpse into the vast and terrifying world of Ouija board lore. Each tale serves as a stark reminder that the veil separating our world from the spirit realm is thin, easily pierced by curiosity and naivety. The Ouija board is not a game. It's not a toy to be trifled with. It is a conduit, a portal that can unleash forces beyond our comprehension, forces that can haunt our waking hours and torment our dreams. The stories we've explored highlight the dangers of disrespecting the unknown. When we approach the Ouija board with fear, with a desire to summon darkness, we invite that darkness into our lives. We become architects of our own terror. But the true horror of the Ouija board lies not in the board itself, but in what it reveals about ourselves. It exposes our vulnerabilities, our deepest fears, our desperate need to connect with something beyond our understanding. The Ouija board is a mirror reflecting the darkness that resides within us all. It is a reminder that the most terrifying monsters are not always the ones that go bump in the night, but the ones that lurk within our own hearts and minds. So the next time you find yourself drawn to the allure of the Ouija board, remember the stories we've shared. Remember the consequences of opening a door that cannot be closed. Remember that the spirit world is a realm of both wonder and terror, a place where beauty and darkness coexist in a delicate balance. And sometimes the line between curiosity and obsession, between seeking answers and summoning demons, is thinner than we think. The Ouija board whispers promises of forbidden knowledge. It beckons us with the allure of the unknown. But are you willing to risk opening the door to what lies beyond? Have you ever dared to dabble with the Ouija board? Share your experiences, your terrifying tales, in the comments below. And if you dare to delve deeper into the darkness, subscribe to our channel for more chilling stories of the paranormal. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. But be warned, once you see it, you can never unsee it.